We have fun.
but we have fun. I'm
Yes,
just hoping
indeed.
it's Wendy's. Like, if it's
So,
Wendy's, like,
since I'm going to incorporate Spider-Verse into my next video, let's talk about what is it? The new one, Across the Spider-Verse. Now,
across the fire.
before we get started, did you know there is many variations of that movie?
Yes, I was going to bring that up too. It's like, I'll say this: where
The
Sasha saw
DVD
this,
release had better be randomized where you pop it in, and every time you watch it, a line read or two is different.
as that at that be the case, I would have to pick up the Blu-ray
Pick
or
up all
something
my
for that.
money.
Shut up and take my money. I'm gonna have to download that from
Sony, if you're
YouTube.
watching.
I'm gonna have to download that clip in regards to Futurama so I could insert it for the audio side. Um, the but because me getting it on the digital side, it's not going to happen because of all the variants of it. But where Sasha watched it in theater with, you watched it with
Al.
Alan,
It was just me
just
and
Al.
Al.
I watched.
We watched Transformers with me, Al, and Willow. So
I watched. I got kind of caught up. I managed to see from the intro credits to where I missed, and from pretty much everything beyond that for the
but
exception
it's
of.
minor lines that are changed, and that's the thing, because you're not going to notice it unless you have repeat viewings.
So I watched thanks to Uncle Tony and his
Yeah,
TikTok
on
connections.
TikTok.
But hey, I
Sony's
still
waiting
watched it.
outside his doors. It's that whole raid like meme where they come in and swat you. SWAT signs that say Sony across.
Then you're going to see something in regards to
Please don't SWAT Chris like in real life. Unless you're Sony, then I would die laughing about it.
it, or something like that, or it's like what was it, the Pinkertons? Yeah, it's like the Pinkertons attacked tiny YouTuber podcaster Martinsburg Madman outside his home. He fought back, and this will, I hope it makes it in the article because I will use it. He fought back using a scythe.
I lost my
Not a
side, but
machete.
I can get it back. I
I
can
will
get
be
it back.
using a full-size scythe to defend my property.
One of the original Playmates versions of a side.
No, it's an actual farming scythe that
Oh,
I
okay.
have, and I will put on my mask and go outside with that son. Oh, you're from Sony. All right. Hold on a second. I have to put on a mask and I need to get something.
We watched it on TikTok.
We watched
Well,
it live on TikTok.
I thought it was good for a 2.5 hour movie. I did
Yeah,
not
it was.
realize it was 2.5 hours. That is how good it is. Now, let me frame this because recently on Disney Plus they put up Avatar 2: The Way of Water. I had to pee at least 3 times. Three. You know how many times I had to pee for Across the Spider Verse? Not even fucking once. When that film was over, I don't care. We were in the inner city up above like Harrisburg movie theater. I waited till the end and I had to pee. And I'm quite
What?
sure the girl beside me was doing coke.
We're talking the beverage Coke, not the powdery.
Oh god, my nose itches. I don't know why.
I don't know what. Not the sugary aspects of things, but was there anything after credits in regards to it, or
No,
just what
because
I?
it's a cliffhanger. That's what I thought was
Okay,
awesome. Because they knew it
I
was
only
a
asked.
cliffhanger. I went into it knowing it was a cliffhanger
Same
because
here.
when it was first advertised as Across to the Spider Verse Part 1, I knew we were getting a Part 2. So no matter how it ended,
I
it
like how they did it. I like the additional. Um, from what I've seen, granted, it was on a like half of this type of screen. But granted, when it comes available to rent, I'm going to try to rent it or own it physically, so I have a bigger screen to watch it on.
You have a
Hopefully, it's
PS4,
also
you can watch it.
yeah. I have a PS4. I'm talking, besides taking a disc in, I'll have a bigger screen to watch it on than
You gotta have
this.
bigger. Bigger is always better.
That's not how the size of it that matters. It's the
It's the girth.
it's the girth. And I've heard 7 inches was pretty standard. But the whole aspect of it's nice. It was nice to see the kind of the Spider-Man meme with it. It's like stop Spider-Man, and they're all pointing to everything. It's nice to see also that they didn't pick. I want to say this is one of the few times, or the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man differs than everything.
Yeah.
Because his storyline in regards to how he became Spider-Man is different than everybody else's. And that him learning how to be Spider-Man and his power set is, you don't really mind following his journey and him learning in this aspect because it's something different than.
And for people who weren't paying attention, and this is the thing that got me, we actually got not one, but two MCU impacting revelations during the movie. First was the fact with the whole big fight with Da Vinci, the Vulture, where they bring up Doctor Strange and Spider-Man from No Way Home. But the second one was kind of glazed over. And if you weren't paying attention to Spider-Man Homecoming, which was the first MCU Spider-Man, I can't think of his first name because I always want to say Danny, but it ain't Danny. His last name's Glover. But he literally played Miles Morales' uncle getting webbed to a car in the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming because they were questioning about the Vulture there and trying to figure out where they were getting their tech. And that version of the Prowler shows up in Across the Spider-Verse. And a lot of people won't realize that you get that Glover version of the MCU Prowler. And I hate to say it, if you haven't been paying attention, there's the deleted scene from Spider-Man No Way Home where Peter, after the spell is complete and he's moving into a new apartment, his neighbors happen to be Morales and speaking Spanish, and their kid's name is Miles.
Not to mention in this new Spider-Man movie, you have a crossover with the Venom,
yes,
the Venom verse. I didn't get a chance to see that prior with the initial run through because when I started watching it was from when Miles dropped off the cakes at the party. I missed like 10 or 15 minutes, and I finally got to see it. I think it was like yesterday, that 10 minutes of missing that little bit of intro where he's fighting the Hole, and the Hole is like peeking through different multiverses, including the Lego verse of.
Yes.
And
did you know that was animated by a 14-year-old?
I think I heard someplace that it was an interview that they saw when the creators were
a YouTuber
doing the movie.
And they didn't know they were 14.
I mean, no, the movie folks were doing it, and they saw this, a YouTube video of that someone did animating Spider-Man, and they got him to come in and do it, and they didn't realize it was like a 14-year-old or something like that.
And it was funny because both sides were questioning. The kid and the parents were like, is this really Sony? And Sony's like, is this for real? Really, a 14-year-old kid?
And I think they get like Andrew, the amazing Spider-Man actor, to voice that Spider-Man.
Yes.
So,
and in fact, there's a lot of scenes from Amazing Spider-Man that we didn't get that showed up in that movie.
So it was very fun. I enjoyed it. Side note, folks, this was kind of like a lot. I know I heard a lot of questions when um what was it? No Way Home was out. How did Venom know the Sony Venom know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man? It's not the same universe. How do you know?
The symbiote's all
The
part,
symbiote.
like, yeah, the original symbiote is
It's the
like
aspect
actually a
that
weapon. Yeah.
the original symbiote, it's all a hive mind throughout the whole
Yeah.
multiverse. That's how he himself knew who Peter Parker was.
Not only that,
So
but
that's
the original, and I can't think of his name. It's the Dark something or other. It was actually a sword that bonded with its user, and
yeah,
as a result, it spread across the multiverse.
And the original suit, for those
Yes, I read
this
comics.
was like I found this out through I think Comic Storian, that they were covering the Secret Wars. The reason why Venom was so insane
It's
is because the first Deadpool was the first wearer of the suit, and we all know how kind of insane Deadpool
that became canon later, but we still count it.
We will count it. But back to Across the Spider-Verse, it's going to be interesting how they take this, to see what someone.
I'm sorry, but his dad has to die.
I don't want to see that happen. It's just the fact that's how the narrative.
It's a canon event. It kind of has.
That's what they're calling it. Yet they said in the same movie, it's like, oh, your uncle had to die. That was a canon event. Granted, there could be more than one.
Here's the problem with that, and this is the only way they can get around it. This is the only way they can get around it. Because in the original Spider-Verse, which was an offshoot of, I want to say Ultimate Spider-Man, because like Ultimate Spider-Man died. The original Spider-Verse, it was his dad that died, and the Prowler kind of took up the mantle of training him and teaching him who to be. Because the Prowler initially went to jail, and then it got found out that, hey, you know, your brother's kid, your nephew is Spider-Man. And so he's like, yo, we got to do better. I can't do wrong by my brother's son. I just can't. I got to step up and be the right kind of uncle. And that's why I kind of like the game version of like the Spider-Verse, because you still have Peter Parker kind of side trading him, but you also have the Prowler in the Sony-verse training him to be Spider-Man. So it's kind of a trade-off. If he lost his uncle in his universe, clearly he's not going to lose his dad. But in the mainline Spider-Verse, where he's kind of stuck right now in the 42 Spider-Verse, that Spider-Verse is going to have to learn, hey, this is needed as a hero in this universe and not a villain.
The thing is with it is like what would have been the mainline canon with like Amazing Spider-Man and all that on the comic side, it's been shaken up so many goddamn times. I don't care if he blocks me or not. Fuck you, Scott, whatever the fuck your name is, and Dan Scott, Scott, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah. Because he fucked up the Spider-Verse. Oh, he's now Peter Parker's a rich person now, and Doc Ock went into his brain and this, that, and the other thing. And
don't get me wrong, like Superior Spider-Man was a good storyline, but I think they adapted it better in the Disney cartoon than what they ever did in the comic books. Because in the Disney cartoon, Doc Ock got his body back, but he decided, hey, here's what Peter's doing. Here's what I was trying to teach Peter. Why am I going against him when, because of what I did, this is how Peter is?
the whole ordeal, the reboot in regards to from Amazing to Superior was the fact that it was whole. From what, if I remember correctly, Joe Quesada's meddling in his
Yeah.
yeah, that whole thing. Uh, because JMS was doing an awesome job with Amazing and John twice.
Well, my
Joe
Disney
Quesada
Plus
had,
is working. Watch the Spider-Man series that's on D Plus that was originally on Disney XD. Watch that.
I'll pull it up. There's a few things I've watched on Disney Plus for right now. So
Because there for a while, like Doc Ock takes over Spider-Man's body, and at first it's like, oh, this is cool, and then he realizes what Peter was doing. Because there's this
yeah,
one scene where he's like, wait, all this time, Peter could have killed me, but he was
yeah,
pulling his punches.
yeah. I heard about that because Doc Ock as Spider-Man pretty much behead by punching. I think it was like Scorpion or
Well,
somebody.
Disney XD doesn't go that far because I kind of give Doc Ock a love interest. And now that he's Peter Parker, he's kind of courting her. And what's funny is that she still recognizes him as Doc Ock.
But at least in the comic, he beat in fighting like the Scorpion or somebody, he decks the guy in the head and
Blows it right off.
using walls right off, and he's like, "Oh my god, Peter's been holding back this whole time because he could have killed all of us." So
Yeah. And to me, I'm like, I think the Disney XD displays it much better because they kind of give him a level to go off of. Yes, he could go and murder a bunch of bad guys, but he knows his girlfriend's going to give him shit. And I think it kind of balances a lot better than just knocking somebody's block off and going, oh my God, I'm a serial killer, you know? But anyways, yes, Across the Spider-Verse, see it. Try to
so
see it
many
in different theaters so that you can see different versions, because the only way it's going to happen.
where now whether or not if I actually went to see it in Berkeley Theater would be a different version versus if I went to see it in Alamo or Regal.
From what everybody's
So,
told me, everywhere you go to see it, there's something that's slightly different.
so it doesn't matter if you went to like three different Regals, you'd see it three different movies.
Yes, because everyone got shipped a different print to run.
So in a way, it for our sake of things, me seeing a Uncle Tony version of Across the Spider Verse
You're
and
not going to
Sasha
see a
seeing
different
it,
version. Yeah.
it would have been two different movies anyhow. Just the quality of mine might have been a little bit different. It was nice to see. I won't say nice to see, but it was different to see Spider Punk, and in regards to it, the kind of the
Especially when you know
introspective.
he's actually supposed to be Prowler #1, but he just happened to get bitten by a radioactive spider instead. I didn't know that until recently.
The thing is, well, in part two, because you had that um, kind of the last scene in the movie. Yeah, spoilers. It's you see the like Spider Ham. You see Nick Cage's Spider-Man version of Spider-Man. It's like, will Nick Cage come back to voice that
Oh
version
yeah, he
again?
will. He's already in it.
So, well, he's kind of a big geek as it is, but
It just makes you play whenever you play. I don't know if you got a copy of it, but get a copy now because they've gone up in price. But Spider-Verse Across Dimensions, that was on PS3. And there's another one that deals with time travel where it's only you're playing as 2099 and regular Spider-Man, and they have kind of like shared hive mind. And then you have Across Dimensions where you're playing as regular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider Noir, and 2099. So you're playing as
I'll
three
have to
different
check.
Spider-Man.
One of these days, I'll have to take the back way to work and my 9 to 5 and swing by Panhandle Games to see how much it's going, if they have a copy and how much it's going for there. So
Get it before
a
they
lot
mark
of
the
things.
price up.
They're pretty much standard with their prices. They're
Well, right now with the new movie out, prices have spiked. Because, like, as terrible as
I've
it
been
sounds, I like to collect PSP UMD video movies. And I've noticed that prices have spiked on Spider-Man movies, Saw movies, things of that nature that were on PSP UMD.
I haven't seen them do that stuff in the past, so I doubt they will.
Well, I've been to a lot of different shops, and I collect the oddball dead media, which may be a segment later on. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed prices spike on UMD movies. So if you have any movies that you want to contribute, eventually I'm going to PO box, and you can send them my way. Preferably with case and not loose, please. We don't like loosies unless they're cigarettes or marijuana.
I think the only time I sent Lucy's to Sasha's because I found an old stash of UMD stuff that I had.
You know,
And
the PSP 1000 that you gave me is the only unit out of 5 that's still working, and I can't hook it up to my TV to watch it in full HD. It is the most frustrating thing, and I've been reading on wikis like, how can I wire this to run HD? And nobody will touch the 1000, but they'll touch the 2000, the 3000, and the street model. How to upgrade it to run on your HD TV, but they won't touch the 1000. I'm like, please, modders, tell me how to do this. Oh, well, you could just hack your, Sony Vita TV, and I'm like, no, I want to run the original media in the unit running to my TV. This ain't hard, but they're making it hard.
You are welcome.
It's been my new challenge, because I've even gone into forums, because you know how like some people will take a portable gaming system like
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance and turn it into a console for the TV. Nobody has done that for the PSP, because they're all like, oh, the Vita TV. And it's like, yeah, because you guys are so into Vita TV, you can't touch the thing for more than $400 or $500. Yes, I got lucky and got one for $20 back in the day when they were discontinued. But come on, I want to buy the media, put it in the drive, and watch it on my TV. This ain't hard. They're like, just get a PSP 2000. I'm like, no. I want you to take a PSP 1000, make the drive where I can plug any region desk in, and it will play on my TV.
Then what's the point of being a modding community if you don't want to mod something?
Yes. Do you know how many forums I had to look up how to wire it for a Bluetooth headset? Do not even get me started. It has been done. I had to use several backwards hackney ways to make the Bluetooth work, but the Bluetooth does work. But I am not buying 6 different drives just to watch all my multi-region UMD movies. That's not happening.
You will buy the Sith drives.
I have bought the UK
you will
drive.
Buy the Sith drives. You will buy the Sith drives and love it because only the Sith deal with absolutes.
I have bought the UK drive. I have the US drive. If I gotta buy more, there's a problem.
Well, if you want to see the stuff from Alderaan, you have to buy the Sith drives.
Or, you can just tip more or donate or buy W, consume W.
If you don't want to consume, we do have a tip jar.
Yes. Yes, only